A 14-year-old boy is in intensive care after getting shot in the face over the weekend. A Brainerd man is hospitalized because of an accidental shooting. EPB crews are out in force trying to restore power. Officials say 5,100 homes and businesses are without power today. Congress passed a short-term extension of the payroll tax this morning, ending a political deadlock. Thankfully, Hurricane Irene is no threat to the Tennessee Valley, but emergency responders here are preparing to head to the eastern seaboard if needed. Amy and John, it's been a battle that's been going on for about a year and a half now, but this still might not be the end. Circuit Court Judge Jeff Hollingsworth ruled again that the recall petition was illegal. The day started with a motion from the recall group for Judge Jeff Hollingsworth to recuse himself due to the appearance of bias because of his campaign contributions from Mayor Ron Littlefield's law firm.
So that the courts may be unimpinged by any taint of the aspects that we've mentioned previously, the aspects of the money, the aspects of the time, the aspects of the fact that, you just didn't invite us in, but you did invite the other party. And I felt, and we felt yesterday in the pretrial proceedings that we really weren't being treated fairly.
Judge Hollingsworth denied the motion. Littlefield's attorneys argued the Hamilton County Election Commission should have used the state law for the recall petition and not the city charter. The Election Commission and the recall group said the state law was unconstitutional. Judge Hollingsworth agreed the state law should have been used. He's ruled this way in this case once before, but the Court of Appeals said it was premature.
They did not address the merits of that decision. I don't know if they think it's right. I don't know if they think it's wrong. They haven't told us. But I looked at it, and I looked at it all again, and I think that decision initially was correct.
Mayor Littlefield says this has been a great trial for him.
It's one of those deja vu moments. Seems like that we went through all this before. I hope that the recallers will take this judgment to heart and let this matter end here. This has been a huge waste of time, tremendous distraction for the community, and we have much more important things to do.
The recall group says they did everything the Election Commission told them to do and do not agree with the judge's ruling.
Now they come back and say, oh, it's not enough. Now, the law doesn't apply now. We didn't enact the city charter. That's foolishness.
Both the Election Commission and the recall group can still appeal the decision. They'll have 30 days to do that. The next Election Commission meeting is March 14th. Reporting live in the studio, Mandy, WDEF News 12. John and Amy, the call came in around 4:45 this morning that a house on 5th Street was on fire. Firefighters arrived to find flames and smoke coming out, but what they found inside was more than they first suspected. Fire officials say this was no accident.
They went into the residence. The front door had been forced open by someone other than the fire department guys, and they found 2 different fires in the house.
The former resident had passed away in 2004, and her son is now the homeowner. He lives in Polk County, and the home is vacant. The fire did considerable damage inside the house. Cleveland fire investigator Captain Ben Atchley says it's very uncommon to find 2 different places of origin in a natural fire.
There was one in the living room. They'd set a chair on fire, and then there was a mattress pulled off a bed and dragged through the house a little bit in a little narrow hallway, and it was set on fire. And so you had 2 separate fires that were unrelated to each other.
Captain Atchley says they didn't find any accelerants, but the fire was intentionally set.
I don't know if it was thrill-seeking or what the motivation was. Obviously, we're going to be looking into it.
Captain Atchley says they'll be talking to neighbors to try and find out what exactly happened. Reporting live in the studio, Mandy Odom, WDEF News 12. Amy and John, the problem will not be solved overnight. It's going to take time to get it done. TDOT is still in the planning phase of the project. They'll put it out to bid hopefully this fall. As the population in the eastern part of Hamilton County grows, so does the traffic.
A lot of times the traffic is backed up onto the freeway.
The exit off I-75 north at East Brainerd Road has become a problem.
When you have traffic stopping on the interstate, that's not a good thing, and we don't want that to happen.
Jennifer Flynn with the Tennessee Department of Transportation says they're putting together a plan to help alleviate the congestion in that area. They're using safety money to do it. The project will cost about $839,000. The plan is to redo the ramp, moving it about 400 feet west.
It'll come into a T intersection and it'll be signalized. It'll have 2 right-hand turn lanes. The ramp itself will be widened to 2 lanes instead of just 1 lane, which will help handle some of the traffic.
It will also have more storage, use skid-resistant pavement, and improve sight distance by removing some vegetation. Having a traffic light will also help people trying to turn left.
There won't be that weave action that there is right now for people who are trying to get off and turn left on the Concord Road. That also causes problems in that area, those people that are wanting to turn left on Concord, so it'll make it easier on them.
Flynn says there's been increased traffic on that ramp, partly due to construction of the city's roundabout at Shallowford and Jenkins Road.
People who normally take the Shallowford Road exit to get home are all taking the same exit, and you just can't put so many vehicles at the same place at the same time and not have problems.
Flynn hopes that when the construction is done, traffic will ease again. The new ramp could be done by the end of 2013. Reporting live in the studio, Mandy Odom, WDEF News 12. P&G Duracell announces expanding its Cleveland battery manufacturing and packaging facilities, creating 60 new jobs. John, the firestorm started with an article from the Chattanooga Times Free Press yesterday. There's going to be a community meeting tonight at the Cherokee Valley Baptist Church at 8 o'clock, and there'll be one tomorrow in Flintstone at the banquet hall next to the Dinner Bell restaurant at 5. And of course, if you can't make it there due to the weather out here, there will be more information on our website at WDEF.com. Reporting live, Mandy Odom, WDEF News 12. The former speaker made 2 stops in our area, one public and one private. The private breakfast at the Chattanooga Choo Choo, with local supporters and dignitaries. It costs $1,000 a ticket. Gingrich talks about how his plans to get gas prices down to $2.50 a gallon and how to create more jobs with lower taxes and less regulation. Local Chattanooga occupiers protested Gingrich outside, saying this is a striking example of corporate greed.
To have access to this candidate for the U.S. presidency, you had to have $1,000 for Danish and coffee, and that's why we're out here to say free speech doesn't cost $1,000 to have a cup of coffee.
If you think of it as more jobs and less expensive gasoline, that's probably the heart of the Gingrich plan.
Gingrich traveled on to his next rally in Dalton. We'll have local reaction to his speech coming up on Prime News at 7. Reporting live in the studio, Mandy Odom, WDEF News 12. Taco Bell customers and employees raised $300,000 for local storm victims.
Every customer that came through in our drive-through and at our lobby just asked them for a $1 donation, and of course most everybody kind of in some form or fashion got affected by it, so everybody was really willing to donate.
Employees say it's good to be able to help, especially since some of them were affected. Red Cross officials say they used a lot of their funds during the emergency and continue to help. It's 97% volunteers, so every dollar goes a long way.
In this area, we fed 25,000 hot meals and gave out over 10,000 snacks. We were able to shelter folks for 10 days and supply bulk distribution items such as rakes and shovels and things like that. And even today, we're out in those communities on these hot days distributing water to those that are still recovering. Cleaning up.
Even after 3 months, the Red Cross is still helping out people like Bill Chapman, who are still trying to recover. Chapman stays in a tent on the property of his parents' home on Archer Lane.
It's got a great big hole stretching clean across and all the way down to the ground on the backside. It's racked the foundation pretty good. It's split the floor the length of the house, and it's cracked several walls. Volunteers gave out water in the affected areas Wednesday. Chapman is thankful for their continued help. They brought yard tools around for me, hot meals during the times when there wasn't no power around here at all. Today, water. Chapman is disputing the insurance, saying their home should be rebuilt, not patched. Contractors and everything that we have coming by, they're coming by just whenever and wherever they can. And my mother and father don't need to be out in this heat trying to meet them. He says it's comforting to see a friendly face still willing to help. In Cleveland, Mandy Odom, WDEF News 12.